boy am I late. But on the bright side I'm wearing suspenders, so that's cool. Boy. Okay, time to move this aside. My breakfast is far done. And time to welcome all of you, delicious boys and girls, Piperinos and Pipettes, who have just joined in. My name is Douglas, as it happens, and welcome to today's illustration string time. I am unfashionably late, so time to go and start, doing stuff. Such as announcing all the places that the string is going on. So I guess a lot of explanations are in place. Yesterday I didn't stream. You guys may have noticed that or not, I don't know. You guys probably do other things with your lives other than pay attention to my stream schedule. So yeah, yesterday I wasn't here, I didn't stream. But Doug, why didn't you stream yesterday? We were so hopeful for one of your streams. What happened? And what happened, as it happens, is that yesterday I was, well, not yesterday necessarily, but for a while now my computer has been misbehaving, so to speak, and with each passing week the misbehaving just grew bigger and bigger until one day I said, no, enough, that's it, I'm done, let's work into this. And then I went and did the work into that. So yesterday I spent the entire day just factory resetting my computer, making sure it works properly now. And now I am unsure if it does or doesn't, because like I said, I spent the whole of yesterday factory resetting my computer, and as it did, I also wasn't around the entire time because I also decided that it would be very productive if I were to leave the computer doing its thing, but also went off on my own and started cleaning the house and shit. So I did. I cleaned up the house, but in cleaning up the house, I also where's that? There we go. In cleaning up the house, the whole formatting of the computer took a little while longer than it perhaps could or should have taken. So that's what happened yesterday. And also, hello there, Mido. Wolf Morning, welcome to the stream. How's it going? I'm just finishing to set things up here and advertising the stream on the places. The art stream. There we go. So that's what happened yesterday. Today, however, is a different day, and what happened today is that I drove my boyfriend to work, and then I had to go back home on my own, which I just did. So there we go. Now I'm here, and we're ready to begin. Hello everyone, good morning. Amido, you're doing good. Thinking of sketching something while watching my stream. Oh, we're free to do that thing we just said. While we go ahead and start doing this thing I said. Huh. So many things are not working properly. I wonder why. Actually, I know exactly why, and I have to check them later. You may not have noticed that my stream thing looks very bare, and there's a reason for it looking that bare. It looks that bare because, like I said, I factory reset my computer, and there's no applications or configuration whatsoever. I was actually lucky that it somehow cloud backed up, recovered something, my previous settings. So that's already an achievement. So all we have going on today is some royalty-free music. So I enjoyed that piece of deliciousness. And also xalien underscore robot. Welcome to the stream. How are you doing this lovely Monday? Maybe Tuesday, which we're having. But Doug, what are you gonna do today? It is Tuesday. I'm gonna finish up this drawing I started Friday? Thursday? Not sure. One of these days last week I started sketching this drawing here, which is our DnD group. Started sketching them up here, and all I have got is the poses and the anatomy. Now I have to draw in the clothes and more specifically the armor. So gonna open the playing game thing because with better dog than believe I don't know what people are wearing or how they look when they are wearing the things that they are wearing. It's a weird thing. Anyway, alien, you said, call me Zalien or for short, or just alien. I'm gonna do one or two of those things if I can remember. I'm not a very smart dog as it happens, so there's a huge chance that I'll forget. Anyway, you're doing good. You're in school. Thanks for asking. How are you doing today? I'm doing pretty okay. Not doing amazing. I'm just doing okay. As it happens. Because truth is, I'm still half waking up. Oh boy, am I sleepy? Boy, oh boy. Okay, so let's check up with the character sheets to see again what everyone is wearing and what they wearing and wielding. Because all of these characters just go and do their own things. So things be crazy every now and then. But anyway, how are you guys doing today? Those of you who are here. Like, what the hell is this? Alright, from what I can see here, everyone is wearing something between leather armor and scale mail. So let's Google for DnD or leather armor to see if there's some sort of visual references as to what the hell it looks like. Oh, that's not good. Okay, those are actually very good drawings. Some of which are totally and completely overdone. Some of which are actually very fine. Gonna open up a couple of them here for reference, like I said. I'm gonna start drawing them. And a lot of it is gonna come down to common sense. there's no need to go and start drawing things that makes little sense or doesn't look like they should be allowed to exist. Anyway, those should be references enough. But what have you guys been saying this meanwhile? Alien says everyone is smart in their own way. Well, my way of being smart is taking care of the house, I guess. And you wish you could draw like that? Well, if you pour thousands of hours into drawing practice, you can. You too can draw like this. Because this doesn't come easily. It takes quite a while to get the hang of illustration. But it is achievable. It is not impossible. In fact, it is very doable. What is going on with this thing? Huh, how weird. Can't resize my windows. And then he says, how could you betray me yesterday, Doug, with no stream? It wasn't a betrayal, only. Or if it was, it wasn't an intentional one. Days with no streams are rather vacation days for you. You should see them as that. Because you don't get to be here moderating things and making sure everybody is behaving. You can just sit back, chill, and relax for the rest of the day. Instead of, you know, doing moderator stuff. So if anything, it was actually some unexpected vacation time you just got yesterday. But anyway, welcome to the stream, Oni. How are you doing today? Hopefully you're doing good. I also needed a little bit of vacations myself. But instead of vacationing, I was fixing up my computer. And now, must I say that after spending an entire mind-boggling day trying to fix up my computer, it has started working slightly better. Seems to be working quite well now. Or until now. Let's see if it keeps up for the rest of the day. Hopefully it does. But anyway, I drove up my boyfriend to work earlier today. Which means my breakfast was interrupted, so I hope you guys don't mind if I start numbing on my cookies and slurping away my coffee. As the day moves on. And I said, but he didn't want to take a vacation. He wanted to watch streams to pass the day by. But are there not other streams you can watch? dead when I am not alive, I would believe that you can only. That there are others, but nonetheless. Thank you for being so eager to be here every day, or most days at least. Anyway, cookie time. Because I have me some delicious cookies. And you dog damn better believe I'm gonna eat them. Mwah, mwah, mwah. So, how was your day yesterday, Oni? Without being here on the stream, doing streamy things. What sort of fun activities you have been up to, Oni, and everyone else as well? I want to know how it was your guys' weekends, because I believe you guys have had some interesting weekends or did something interesting with your lives up to some degree. I have no idea what mage clothes look like, so I'm kind of improvising. But do you know who has great clothes design, or rather great armor design? Well, you guessed it, Dragon Age does. So let's check out what they have been doing with their armors. And Mido says Well, I kinda know how it was on your end, but yeah, your weekend was good. Get some nice fresh air on countryside. I wish I could have gotten some air on the countryside. Dragon Age armor. There is indeed lots of armors going on, but that's not what I'm looking for. I'm looking for mages. Yeah, Dragon Age armor mage. Weirdly enough, it's showing like lots of pictures from Dragon Age 1 and 2, but none of Dragon Age Inquisition. So let's go to my other favorite place to find those sort of stuff. A website called Creative Uncut. Oh, Doug, what is Creative Uncut? Creative Uncut is a site that pretty much tries very hard to gather it tries to gather reference material and concept art for games. So just games, no movies. But nonetheless, they do go out of their way to try and get some concept art going on to post up there on the internet. Problem is, they aren't very super successful every single time, because as it happens, some people are not huge fans of having their entire work of art being made available for free on the internet. So they're like, nah, I don't think so, boyo. And then they go and take those things down. And then they have started to try to contact and talk with these with the owners of the artwork, like either the artist or the game company for which said art was done. And they try to talk to them and be like, hey, can you please let me use your drawings and whatnot? They're like, sure, what the hell, why not? So they allow it. But like, they allow a very limited version, so instead of getting the full-on art book with thousands, actually hundreds, well, with lots of pages of work of art and whatnot, they just go and allow them to use a sort of abridged version, so to speak. So in the end, you end up getting like key pictures instead of the whole thing. But anyway, Creative Uncut is an amazing site for that, for finding art reference for games and stuff. If you're ever stumped with a design and you wanna seek out some references, that is a great place to go to. But of course, you are always also free to go and pursue your own designs or mix and mash different styles into something more unique if you wish to do so. There's many approaches to this. So here I'm gonna do something kinda a mishmash. I'm gonna throw in a little what's it called? I'm gonna do my own sort of thing here with this character, also using the Dragon Age Inquisition look for armors. Gonna add that into the design, but not gonna get too fancy with it, because after all, Adden is a side character, so why even bother putting too much detail into her? I mean, of course, there is a very valid reason to focus on her as a character, but I don't feel like doing that right now, so I'm gonna keep her very simple. And then you said that you said to add your orc husband in the ship with you, but no, I won't. Only no. I shall not. Why do I disapprove of you and your husband? I don't disapprove. I just won't draw it. Because, only as it happens, this scene was composed more or less with these 7 characters in it. If I were to go and add another character that hasn't been previously thought or planned for into this composition here, it would have to change things significantly, and I have no intent of doing that, so I'm just gonna keep it as it is. And you can feel free to go complain to whoever. So I don't disapprove of your guys' relationship, I disapprove of the extra work you guys are giving me. Like, dog them. By the way, apparently mages keep books with them at all times, so well, some types of wizards, well, magic users rather, they keep books with them at all times. All times. And Oni says, "I know, I'm just joking. April's Fools. Is that so? Is that what I am for you? A fool?" Oh, Oni. Every time I think you have gone and done something, you find a way to one up yourself. Daring to come here and call me a fool. To my face. No wonder people love you so much, Oni. And I'm not being sarcastic, I actually mean it. Alright, I guess that this is enough for Agnes. Just gonna add a little bit of flair to this armor, make it feel a little bit more unique and alive. Well, by unique and alive, I don't mean like actually alive. I mean something that looks less generic and less half-hearted. Just adding some little design choices here and there, because after some deep consideration I have come to realize that leather armor is no more, no less than strips of leather. Well, not necessarily strips, but parts of leather, like big sheets that have been thoroughly dried up and kind of molded into a malleable, well, into something malleable, something that you can wear but is very hardy to work against. Hence why it becomes armor. This leather, these leather patches and whatnot. So pretty much leather armor is the layered thing with different layers, all of which form sort of a silhouette that is easier to wear. So go figure. And Oni, you said so. This new feature in the DnD for next game is that exhaustion. So if you fail 6 times from saving yourself from it, you die. Exhaustion is a game mechanic that already existed. We just weren't using it because there wasn't anything you guys were doing that was exhaustive. But it's a thing. If the idea of exhaustion is that if you go and do some sort of activity that overexerts you, or that overexerts your character, you get a level in exhaustion. And the idea behind exhaustion is that if you normally you only get exhaustion by like really pushing your body limits, like trying to go an entire day without eating food or water, or without resting, like going an entire 24 hours without going an entire 24-hour day without sleeping, and then trying to go for the next day. The idea is that normally you would already take a point of exhaustion, but because being adventurers, you guys are already slightly better than your common folk at surviving these sorts of dangers. What happens is that with every time you try to overexert yourself, you do a constitution saving throw. So you try to see if you can go about doing this thing you want to do without getting exhausted. If you can withstand it. Sometimes you can, sometimes you cannot. So in this case you couldn't, and you failed your saving throw, which means you ended up with an exhaustion level and slightly bow-legged. So it isn't that necessarily you would if you fail 6 times you die. It's that well, actually it is. If you fail 6 times saving against exhaustion you die, but that won't happen like all 6 times in a row. If it does, you're like really going out of your way to make that happen, because it normally doesn't happen like that. Anyway, hello there Tiger, and welcome to the stream. Good morning, how's it going? How are you doing? Hopefully you're doing good. I'm doing doggishly fine. Except that I'm not doing fine. I'm just alright. It's just another day. Nothing too spectacular about it, but nothing too bad about it. So it's a so-so day. And Tiger, you said they're screwing a big work man all night. Oh yeah. Doesn't work like that, Oni. And Oni, you said I think that would add 2 points. I just went around the bushes for a quick king. Well then. And Tiger says, see, it didn't stretch first. Is that true? But yeah. I actually needed to. There's those what's it called? A DM shield, a DM screen. I'm not sure how they call it, but like those big pieces of paper that the DM has kind of held up on their side of the table to hide their dice rolls and monster stats and whatnot. The fun thing of playing on roll d20 is that, or roll 20 rather, is that I don't need one of those. I can simply type in a hidden command. I mean, I type in to roll the dice in private and it rolls the dice and doesn't show it to you guys. Although I realize that it does shows on the stream. So if you guys are watching the streams, you can see what I'm rolling dice-wise. You might not know why I'm rolling them, but you will be able to see my dice rolls. So that's kinda But anyway, that's the good thing of playing on Roll20. I can roll my dice, and you guys can't see it by default, just by using a different rolling command. The only other problem is that I don't have the DM screen. And the DM screen doesn't serve just to hide your dice rolls. If you were about that, I could simply roll them, kind of hide the rolls behind my head or something. The idea behind the DM screen is that on the back side of it, it has like a big summary of most important, or if not, the most common game rules, such as how does spellcasting works, common roles and attributes, which one you use for this or that role, what are the values of certain common items and other things. So having a DM role would be interesting for the sheer amount of useful information it contains. But a DM screen is also kind of expensive, so fuck that. But I had thought of, compiling up some references of my own, writing it down, all down on a piece of paper, and then going around to some graphic printer and printing out a huge DM screen, kind of compiled rules, and hang it on my wall behind my computer screen, so I could see it while we play. Because I did find a PDF file with said rules abridged. Like, these are the most common rules for this and that things. Things you find on the player's handbook, not anything specific to the DM guide. So a big compilation of player handbook rules going on, and it's a PDF file which I keep open when we play the games, but still going through windows like, this is the window with the monster stats and references, this is the window with the actual game going on, where I can see where everyone is and what's going on. And there's also this screen with the rules. There's a lot of screens for me to keep track of. So having something on my wall, something fixed, that I don't need to keep cycling through, would be nice. But anyway. Tiger says morning, and you're well. That's great to hear, Tiger. And then it says it's been a long adventure, okay, I didn't have the time for it, and you guys were in a hurry. And when you say joking, I only use the stream for pop out chat to give you the sinful leather gear, because it's like practically wearing nothing. Plus on the next level up, I'm going to be Bayonetta. How? How so? You talked about that, but I was kinda... Everyone's talking about different things, and it's hard for me to keep track of what everyone's talking about, so... How exactly are you gonna become Bayonetta, Oni? Tell me that. While I go ahead and eat another cookie. Well, you guys would not believe in the amount of tabs I have open in my internet browser just to check out all these references. I know you said there's an archetype that lets you go dark and use Bayonetta abilities, like using demon powers. Tell me more about that, Oni. How exactly? What archetype is this? Okay. Every single week. Every day I drink room temperature coffee. And I know it's bad, but it's like the coffee is already brewed, it is already in my mug. Might as well not let it go to waste. But also it tastes so bad. Alright. So, monk-wise, starting on 3rd level, you can commit yourself to a monastic tradition, the way of the open hand, the way of shadow, or the way of 4 elements. All detailed in the end, blah blah blah. So the way, I believe you mean the way of shadows. Monks of the way of shadow follow tradition that values stealth and subterfuge. These monks might be called ninjas or shadow dancers. They serve as spies and assassins, sometimes blah 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 blah. Blah, 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 blah. Shadow arts. You can use your ki to duplicate the effects of certain spells. As an action, you can spend 2 ki points to cast darkness, dark vision, pass without trace, or silence without adding material components. Additionally, you gain the minor illusion cantrip and if you already don't know it. None of these sound very none of this sounds like dark powers or anything. So I guess you mean like the way of 4 elements. Where you get elemental disciplines and shit. Well, all in all, I have no idea. So go on, Oni. Tell me more about that. Tell me more about those Bayonetta shenanigans. So what we have in here, back to the armor game that we were playing before. I'm gonna up the contrast, up the brightness, so I can see a little bit more of the armor details, which is hard to see on its own. So it's nothing too fancy, it's like just some sheets of leather folded and strapped together by bolts or chains. Well, by chains I mean like leather straps with metal ligaments going on. Other than that, there's nothing too fancy about them. They're not even supposed to be fancy. But what I have been seeing is that depending on where you go about getting your leather armor, the design varies tremendously. There's no one single way to go about making leather armor. There's many. So for Draken, I guess his leather armor is a part of his armor, but most of the rest of his armor is also his cloak that he uses. I'm gonna go ahead and say that his armor is very hunt orientated. Actually, no, he's a thief, rogue. What happens with him is that I'm trying to throw in some contextual knowledge into this. By contextual knowledge, I mean, let's not consider the looks of the armor on its own. Let's consider also its implications. By which I mean, as a rogue, you're probably in the city quite a lot, and being in the city, have to deal with things like people and whatnot, and you need to be able to sneak about for these people to not see you. Otherwise, you are a very bad rogue. So for people to not be able to see you when you're trying to mingle and sneak amongst them, it helps if your clothes are very dark and very common. So anything that kind of calls attention to your clothes might be betraying your rogue nature. So even though there is leather going on into his armor, it doesn't have any. It tries its best to mimic what like common clothes would look like. So to speak, for example, you wouldn't have like big shoulder pads sticking out of your armor like this, even though they are protective, more protective than anything else. Anything pointy instantly draws our eyes. So he would probably be trying his best to avoid any an armor that has any pointy elements in it. So I'm gonna say that his armor is made of very fine little layers of leather. Try his best to avoid having points in it. But anyway, other than the DnD game, how was your weekend, Matthias? I mean Tiger. Sorry, getting everyone and everything confused now. How was your weekend? The other part of your weekend that we were not sharing. And what are your guys' plans for this week now? If I'm not mistaken, next weekend is Easter. And as it happens, when Easter comes by, people are gonna be spending lots and lots and lots of money on chocolate eggs and whatnot. And Mito says mostly drawing, going to gym a bit. Ooh, gym is cool. Studying, kinda normal week for you. And on Friday that polish for meat. Oh, cool. Tell me all about your studies. What sort of cool stuff are you studying? I guess I never asked what you study, and I would like to know. And also, concerning the fur meat, did you manage to make lots of new friends over there in your local group and whatnot? How did it go? Tell me some more about this. About this fur meat action you have going on. You guys are gonna just go out and enjoy a day out in the city as a group of people who know one another, that knows one another and whatnot. Are you guys going to a shopping mall, play some games on the arcades, gonna go to a library and have fun reading books, I guess? Are you guys going to a bar? Or going to someone's house just to chill out in there? I wonder. Over here, none of those work anymore. A lot of the furries, either they don't drink or they're not huge, or they're underage and therefore not allowed in bars. They're not a huge fan of shopping malls either, because most of them like the idea of well, they are fans of shopping malls. They just are not fans of having furmeets in shopping malls, because apparently you can't bring your fursuit, if you have any, to a shopping mall, because a while ago there were being lots and lots and lots of shopping mall robberies going on, so they stopped allowing people to enter shopping malls with any sort of articles of clothing or fashion that might conceal your face. They have not been allowing people inside shopping malls with any of those, so fursuits are a no-go in shopping malls. The thing people have been doing the most is going to a park, but this past several months parks have been also a no-go because of the sheer heat that we have been enduring this past several months of summer. On top of that, there is also the whole deal of the what was it called? Oh yeah, going to one another's house doesn't work very much because not a whole lot of furries here have houses. Those that do have houses have very small houses, so they can't host a group larger than 8 people if they're stretching it. Because you know, furries are poor people, they don't have a house with a yard. They mostly have houses with well, they mostly own apartments. So hosting fur meets in houses is totally a no-go. Because no one owns a house. other than that, those that do own places big enough to host a big amount of furries, we had one of those happening a while ago. Don't remember when exactly. I think it was back in October. A guy hosted a kind of a fur meet, which was more of a birthday party really, but he invited lots of furs to his apartment. But because he lived in a nice enough apartment, it had like a what's it called? I don't know the term for this, but they had a little place for you to have a party. Like there's this party room or like party hall, saloon place. I'm not sure what you would call one of those, but they had one of those with like a big place with some televisions and stuff to hook up any sort of electronic stuff you have, and barbecue in place, some fridges, so if you needed to host any sort of big-ish party, you got that covered. And that worked, and that they did. We went, it was fun, and saw people, I had some drinks, talked a little bit, and then everyone went their own way. It was fun. And then recently there was another birthday party we went to. It was slightly further away. It was in a small house. Well, not small house, it was actually a very big house. But anyway, it was on a house on the outskirts of town. It was pretty good, pretty fun. Except it was not fun at all. For me at least, it wasn't fun. Anyway, Mido says, "Oh, you ask, you do veterinary, and this week you mostly need to focus on chemistry." Makes sense. And then it says, "Just did arcade things, got a pedicure, had ingrowns removed." Sounds fun to go and do pedicures. Your beans are baby soft. Oh my. Amido says about the fur meet, they decided to organize it in the club. I'm not entirely sure since it will be the first time for you. Oh boy. And then he says, so true furries walking to a bar. They fucked. The end. What? That was a bad joke, honey. And also, hey there, Leo. Boo to you too. Welcome. How's it going? How are you doing? And as lovely as... What day is today again? I always forget the days somehow. It happens to me. Anywho, welcome, Leo, to the stream. How are you doing today? This lovely day of the choice. That's the day that is today. And Dono, welcome and also goodbye. You said Snap, gotta go, have a great stream. Okay, I'll be seeing you later, hopefully. Take care and stay awesome. And thanks for showing up. And Leo, you still live. That's great to hear. How have you been? Tell me a little bit more about how you have been this past few days and whatnot. I just had the weirdest thought now. I don't even know how to bring it into the conversation naturally, so I guess I'm just gonna drop it. But that is something that if I do end up remembering later on, I'm gonna go ahead and search that. And it's fun when you think up of things, but you decide, nah, it's not a worthy something for right now, so I'm gonna keep that in the back burner and bring it up when I'm alone and nobody will judge me for my weird stuff that I think of. But anyway, how are you doing, Leo, other than being alive? What sort of cool shenanigans have you been up to? How was your weekend, by the way? Didn't see you around. I probably missed or wasn't able to. But we were streaming a Dungeons and Dragons game on the Sunday. In the when was it? Afternoon-ish? Yes, in the afternoon-ish time. On Sunday, we were playing some Dungeons and Dragons. Streaming it, rather. What the hell are those things good for? And Leo, you still live, you're still coughing up slime. Oh no. Oh boy, that's bad. What has been going on with you? With your coughing of slimes? I mean, I take it you have been sick? But what exactly do you have, or have been having? It's been a while since you have had that. And I am starting to grow even more worried. Don't make us worry, Leo. Tell us what's going on. What is it that you have been having? And Tiger, you're back. Oh, my dog. Welcome bark to the stream. Did you notice? It's a pun. Instead of saying welcome back, I said welcome bark. Haha, dog puns. In your face. And now I will... something here? Don't ask me what that is, it just is and makes sense. I guess. I'm gonna hold it, the belief deep down in my heart that it does make sense some way, somehow. Anywho. And Leo says, worry not, this is just the last stage of this flu, about 3 weeks of coughing phlegm. Oh my dog Leo, 3 weeks of coughing of any sort of flu is already way too much time. A flu shouldn't even last more than a week. If I have had it for more than for that long, you said you have had it, then something is amiss. You should look that up. Speaking of flus and whatnot, ever since I moved here 4-ish years ago, I've never gotten like awfully sick anymore. I mean, I did, but way back when I lived with my parents, I used to get sick like every other month. But now I go about the entire year being amazingly okay, which is weird. Like, wow, how, why does that happen now? And there's two explanations. Either the whole living on my own here, going out more often and doing stuff, or rather not going out that much, you know, getting in contact with some other people that often. Well, either my routine is helping me not get sick as often, or it's the fact that I spent my entire evening breathing in the smoke of my boyfriend's cigarettes, and that is ruining my respiratory system, and in some way kind of ensuring that I don't get sick with any sort of respiratory disease, or flu or whatever. Because you know, if cigarettes can kill you slowly but surely, then I wonder what sort of damage they can do to the flu viruses that try to get into your nose. Anyway, one or the other. And Tiger says, oh, the flu, yeah, that's rough, Leo. And Leo says, happiness equals healthiness. So you are saying that you are unhealthy and unhappy big cattle. That's no good. Also, yeah, we don't have the sound commands. I'm sorry. Like I was saying earlier, I factory reset my computer, which means I also had to spend quite some time reinstalling all my software, my programs, Streamlabs and Clip Studio somehow kept most of this stuff I had going on already. That's good, but not all my applications were kept, and the Good Boy Bot application itself is not here, so sounds are not a thing that we have. I'm sorry. Look on the bright side, it's gonna be a much quieter stream from now on, or until I reinstall install the bot program and get the Good Boy Bot working back again, or don't. I don't know. Maybe I won't bring the Good Boy Bot back. Maybe we're gonna spend the rest of our days without the bots. This is gonna be a botless stream. Maybe, who knows? That could happen. That could work. And then it says, you're gonna smoke cigarettes to look cool like my boyfriend. I don't think you're gonna look cool on it. I mean, sure, you might look a little bit cool, but you're also gonna end up looking very sickly after a couple months doing that. So don't. Or do. I don't know, I'm not a father. Can't tell you what to do and what not to do. I can just say, sure, go ahead. But that's gonna get you killed. Eventually. I had other armor sets going on in here, all of which looked interesting in some one way or another. But yeah, for now, for today at least, no sound commands, or rather no commands whatsoever. There's simply no commands going on. What the hell? What did I do here? Okay, let me think this up again. Up, and down, and round. And right here. Okay, I guess. Alright. And being what they are, gonna have a simple iron protective thing going on. It's kind of fun. Because you know, there's the Assassin's Creed games, and around ish Assassin's Creed 2.5, a guy took up the mantle of being the official novelist behind the Assassin's Creed stories, and he started writing some Assassin's Creed books, which I read to a certain degree. And he wrote like Assassin's Creed Renaissance, which was the first one, which was based on Assassin's Creed 2. He rewrote all the story of the game, but giving more of a focus on Ezio as a human being rather than a video game character with who's kick-ass and amazing and whatnot. In the book, he was more humane, and it was interesting. And one of the things that there is in the game and that they wrote into the book is that after a while, Ezio's friend Leonardo da Vinci goes and he builds a gauntlet thing device for Ezio, which is pretty much just like an armed guard thing, but he made it with some crazy ass metal or whatever. In the book, it just describes it as some sort of more resilient metal than others and very lightweight. Throughout the book, he goes about, well, throughout the rest of the book, Ezio is like, oh no, this is a blow that will definitely kill me, but I put up my arm and it blocked the blow completely. And he kept saying that, and I mean, makes very little sense that all of these blows that would theoretically break a man's arm can be stopped just because he was wearing some fancy gloves or whatever in his arm. The shock of it would at least have broken some bones. And yet, all that happens later on is that he just goes and says, but after that, he just had some bruises on his arm. And it's like, not sure that how that works, Oliver Bowden, but sure, whatever you say. To be fair, this is the same book series that is saying that one of the reasons why Da Vinci has came up with so many original ideas is because he came across an artifact called the Apple of Eden, so he was able to tap into the knowledge of the ancients who were good enough to like create holograms, and that's because they came before of us, so sure. Anyway, I recommend the read. 10 out of 10. Would read again. Maybe not Assassin's Creed Renaissance, but Renegade is a very good one because it was based on Assassin's Creed 3, which has the shittiest story in Assassin's Creed game. Now, wisely enough, the author goes and decides not to follow the game story, but rather follow another story, the story of the protagonist's father, which is way more interesting and very, very, very cool too. So go and give that a look, just because. And Oni says, I'm always sick, I'm always unhealthy, and Leo says, I am waiting for your herbs that you ordered to come in. What kinds of herbs? Mullein and goat's foot. Never heard of any of them. I have no idea what they do. And Anya says I drink 12 pk of Coke every day. What is a 12 pk? And at this point I have soda for blood. Also only I'm not even gonna start on how unhealthy that is and how you should stop doing that. For several reasons. First, there's a shit ton of sugar, and sugar is bad for your health, as you probably know already by this point. Secondly, there's a lot of other chemicals going on in Coca-Cola that you're better off avoiding. Secondly, there's no need for you to drink that much Coca-Cola or soda every day. So cutting that down is not a cutting down on that is gonna help you save up so much money you have no idea. So yeah, maybe check that out. Leo, you said sweet, look at this. Oh, that's a cool leather armor, leather and fur and scale mail. Actually, that's not scale mail, that's rings? I forgot what is the term for this, but yeah, that's cool. Good looking. I approve. Anywho, back to Draken and his armor. This is what I was looking for. It goes down and up then behind. That should make do it. That'll make do. The idea is that from this point down below, it's just cloth. Then a belt, because of course people need belts going on in their lives. Normally they have belts because they try to carry something, not just for the sake of belt having. So wait, what? This sounds wrong, but sure. it's kind of seeing this sort of stuff that makes me think, like, boy oh boy, when the movies people say, oh, let's make a series or a movie or whatever that is like medieval and shit. You can already kind of picture so many people. I can already picture so many people going like, ugh. We're gonna have to waste 1.5 hours at least every single day, both of rehearsal and of actual acting, just putting on and out these costumes that they're forcing us to wear. But also the people who does the costumes, they're like, oh damn, their eyes shine and they say it's gonna be medieval, because they're like, oh shit, I was waiting for this my entire life. I have so many projects back home, let me just pick my binder with photos and collages and whatnot. Because I bet there's someone who's like, who gets into the whole deal of making costumes for shows on TV, who are like, my real passion is making, I don't know, medieval clothes or whatever, but I have been hired for this show that is doing some sort of Muppets or whatever, so I have to do Muppets clothes all day. Because, truth should be told, from what I have heard, that is a very complicated job. Well, complicated to some degree, because logistically wise, it's where it gets really complicated. Because it's like, oh, okay, they want us, say for example, they're gonna film a series that is about people like teenagers downtown and whatever. Say they're gonna film the next Big Bang Theory. So they're like, okay, now we have to get like nerdy clothes or whatever. And that's easy enough. But they have to go and buy these clothes, and they have to maintain these clothes and make sure that they, depending on the kind of series this is, they have to make sure that these clothes, they last long enough, with constant putting in and taking out and putting in and taking out and washing and making sure that it has the very right tone of color to show up good in TV, that it doesn't have blemishes or any sort of, you know, that it looks good for TV and that it isn't full of tears or whatever. And then they also get this whole point of, hey, we have been asked to come about with clothes for this thing, but we don't have an endless supply of money. We have to be very economic, because we're not like supplying clothes for one character, we're supplying clothes for the entire cast. So they have to go and, on top of buying these top condition clothes, if possible at bulk even, because they're gonna need a copy, several versions of those clothes, they also need to make sure that they are cheap enough that they just can't, you can't just enter into any store and start buying clothes. They have to make sure that they are able to find the right supplier, or to get some discounts, or buy them at a lower price. But from what I have heard, logistically that is nightmarish, but it's fun. for the people who really enjoy that sort of work. Anyway, hello there, Regis 8. Wolf morning, how's it going? Welcome to the stream. And Oni says Dallas. List, one thing that gets better with age, and you says Daddy digs his bell. And DRS group says laughing off. And Leo says whips and chains. Daga says Lemo, you kinky boys. That they are. But look on the bright side, Tiger. They're our kinky boys. They're the ones we are familiar with and the ones we have chosen to keep in our lives. Also, this whole drawing of armors thing is taking way longer than I anticipated it would. Coming up with original armor isn't as fast as drawing up new characters. But it's something. Oh, Sue? Time to go and play some creepy music. How about that? How do you guys feel about some creepy music? Or playing that up? Also, is it just me or is my microphone lower today? Yes, it is. How do you think about it? Normally it's a little bit louder, but maybe it is a little bit lower today. I guess not all configurations were kept. Huh. How quaint. Anyway, creepy music. Let's get that going on. What was it called again? This soundtrack. Give me some of that. There we go. Those of you who wanted to get creeped by something, now you get to be creeped. That's because I don't have any adventuring soundtrack to put as I draw this, so that'll do. Those of you who haven't, by the way, you totally should go and play Cultist Simulator. Amazing game. Crazy. Very weird. Definitely not a... what's it called? Totally not a... boy, why am I blanking on this word? It's not even that complicated a word. It's not your standard game experience. Cultist Simulator is definitely very different from everything you have ever played, probably. Plus, I have played a lot of browser games that if you did, you're probably gonna be like, I kinda can see where this comes from. But anyway. Mido says Dracon's armor is looking cool, Doug. Why, thank you. I'm gathering references left and right here. Everybody who has this sort of armors need that little half skirt thing that people gave Link so much shit for so many years. Like, Link, you're a badass swordsman, why do you wear a half skirt shirt thing? Little do they know. That's how armor works. For pants though, now I don't know. Now things start to get weird. For the pants I'm just gonna use the default Final Fantasy 14 armor scheme, which is pretty much like you can see a sliver of normal pants, and And then this big ass thigh-high boots or shoes or whatever they are. Well, thigh-high footwear, because apparently it works best when it's that high, I guess. You know, one or the other. Despite it looks though, it is kind of cool. But anyway, Mido, you said you're gonna sketch stuff today. What stuff are you sketching today? I'm curious. I think this is how the Final Fantasy armor worked, or looked like, at least. Let me go and do a quick search to see if it was actually like this. And Amito, you said it's pretty nice to watch your stream and sketch something yourself, but he wasn't thinking drawing anthropomorphic dragons can be so difficult. There's gonna be another icon for Fred. Ooh. Are you doing this for free? Or are you charging money? Delicious dollars and euros or whatever for them. Actually, you guys use the zloty, isn't that so? The Polish zloty, or however you call it. Which, last time I have checked, or out of curiosity, is worth more or less the same than our Brazilian real. So the difference is like comes down to cents. Middle, you said, yeah, it's only for practice. I wasn't thinking about making commissions yet. Well, if you ever think of making commissions out of those, I would totally say go for it, because it's your art quality is very good. Commission level good. So if you were to start making commissions, you would easily enough find well, I want to say easily enough, but it's not that easy. But you would find people willing to buy art, that's for sure. Especially if you were to do something like Oni does and undersell your art tremendously. Like, good quality art for such low prices. You would find buyers very quickly. And Toroka says sets or sacks, I don't know. I completely missed the point of what was being said and what was going on. But anyway, welcome to the stream, Toroka. Wolf morning, welcome. How's it going? Alright, Wolf afternoon, you're over there, where it's afternoon time. And Leo says the latter sells, it does. Middle says thanks, Doug, you're welcome. Aneta says hi, Douglas, what's up? Not much, just kinda having a day, working on some art, because this one is a cool art, because it's a group of people who we have been playing D&D with, and because it's a group of people, it's an art that's gonna benefit a lot of folks. Whenever everybody's gonna be happy when this gets done. Whereas normally with commissions, there's just a handful of people that are like, cool. And the commissioner themselves. This one is gonna be like, a lot of people are gonna be like, yay, it's done. Oh yeah, I was gonna Google that. Let me check out. Final Fantasy 14 default armor. Oh, there we go. No, that's not it. That's not it at all. Shucks. Oh wait, that might be it. What is it really? How weird it is, but it isn't. God damn. Creative Uncut, help me. What the fuck? Anyway, how are you guys doing today? Video game concept art, fantasy. I should have typed in the whole thing. There's so many other Final Fantasy games which doesn't begins with F. Yeah, Final Fantasy 14, A Realm Reborn. Tell me, how do they look, these fuck faces? They're not fuck faces, but there we go. Pure male. Alright. Alright, I guess. Sure, why not? Man, whoever comes up with the designs for these things on Final Fantasy, they're really good. I'm like, ugh, boy oh boy. But anyway, that's how I am. How about you, Neta? How are you doing today in this delicious day of the truest? How's it going? That's what I mean to say. way, sorry, I'm distracted here thinking of so many things. I forget to say words sometimes. Sorry. What's going on? Toroka says you said something about armor being the same but slight differences due to sets. I don't even remember. Oh, Toroka, if you're asking me to remember what I said 5 minutes ago, I don't have that kind of memory. You should have known by now. I'm kinda going on full ramble-matic mode. Not paying attention to what I'm saying, I'm just saying words and hoping that they are not offensive and that they are cohesive in some way. Coherent, rather. Anywho, more likely sets or as Saxon armor would cause a lot of chafing. And Mido, you said also you're totally agreeing. Oni is underselling his art terribly. He could charge 2 or 3 times more for his art. And yes, says Mido. Come on, Oni, you charge $4 for an icon without background. And Oni, you sexually identify as a person of punctuables. What? Amido says so. As I said, at least 2 or 3 times more. Elio says, oh, and you should try to better yourself. And Toroka says, dress up nice. Add some lipstick. Do all the things, why not? Also, Draken, he's gonna have another armor, which I knew he had, and that I had to do, but I kept forgetting about it. It's a cloak, dog damn you. Dog damn me, rather, for forgetting. How could I forget? He's a rogue. Rogues have cloaks. Or rather, he has a cloak. And because he's a fancy boy, his cloak is not just a cloak, or just some cloth he throws over his face. It also has a nice little design going on here. It's certainly, cloaks are not supposed to be intricate. Intricacy is what makes clothes more noticeable than others, but why not? It'll look nice, and that's what matters. In the end, is that he looks nice in this cloak of his, which also covers half of the armor I spent so much time drawing, so that's fun. clearing the seas. This cloak should be varying against the wind a little bit more. But anyway, how are you doing today, Toroka? How are you doing today, Nera? The pink rhino, 24. How's yours Tuesdays going thus far? Hopefully good, hopefully better than mine. But Doug, does that mean you're having a bad Tuesday? Not really. Just feeling a little bit exhausted from last week, because last week, boy oh boy. Was I feeling mentally exhausted and drained. And as happens during the weekend, I didn't get to recover as well as I was hoping. Also, might as well have that little thing there be some sort of brooch or family symbol or whatever. Which I'm gonna do after I have that sort of information, which I currently don't have. I don't think that I have that sort of information. Anyway, this is Draco with his cloak and he looks dapper. But Doug, what does dapper means? I have no idea. Sure means something. Don't go around asking me, I don't know what it means. Normally when I'm doing sketches I don't go about coloring them or anything. I just want to throw in some color on top of this cloak here to kind of differentiate it a little bit in the drawings. Actually, a larger brush would help me with this. So, come. Such a cool song this is. Anyway, now I have it. A cloak and the armor. You can see the armor underneath the cloak, and that's why I have gone and painted it. That's why you could differentiate that a little bit better. Anywho, oh, my arm is hurting for some reason. And Toroka says it looks as if he is giving Skidward a sideway look after hearing a distinct sound of bubbles from the barrel. Oh no. And so. And Leo says it does. Does it really though? I'm not so sure about that. So, who else is wearing leather armor? Everyone! As it happened. Well, when I say everyone, I'm lying. Oni isn't wearing any armor. He's wearing just clothes. That should be easy-ish to draw. But Flint and Hentai are wearing leather armor. Then Matthias and Summerlad are wearing scale mail. I wanna do Oni's clothes just on owls. Clothes real quick, just that's so I don't lose. the references I have already. But after that, I'm gonna go on to something else. So, the player's handbook has a very cool illustration of, surprise, surprise, a monk. When it says, oh, these are monks. What do you know? I'm gonna take a look at that and use it as a slight reference for the clothing that Onel is gonna be using. Because when you say we're gonna be naked, Oni, we didn't. Oh, we took you seriously, but we're not gonna do that because reasons. So, clothes, you will have them, and you will be happy while wearing them. I mean, now look for more references though. What does a DnD monk look like? Those facts. Okay, that's what they look like. According to these drawings here. Can do. It isn't too crazy. Gotcha, lots of references. Alright. So no nothing too fancy. Just some normal cloth, pants and shirts, some what's it called even? It has a name, but I can't remember it. Bandages along your legs and arms and feet as well, I guess. Gonna make them plantigrade feet, because why not? bit more believable. You see a monk walking with his feet out, and you see it's a plantigrade feet. Is it? What's it called? I think it is. I'm gonna assume it is. I think it looks good. What do you think, Connie? What about this? Gotta have that free-flowing monk cloak as well. Because why not? Why the heck not? Honey, you're done. Much faster than Draken and Agnes, but just as stylish. Look at that. How cool. There we go. For reals is this time. We're done. Okay. So now I already have some good leather armor references for Draken. Agnes's clothes are done already. Very simple, by the way, compared to everyone else. Now it's time for us to work on Matthias. Gotta get those folks in the foreground first. So, tell me, Gogo, what the hell does a scale male looks like? I need to know. For it is part of my job. That's a poor example. I mean, looks cool, but too many spikes everywhere. This is a interesting one. I'm not a huge fan also of how they most scale male armor actually focus on the scales and not necessarily on the whole. Like, oh, it is made of scales, not necessarily little plates of metal. Why does it look weird after some time? Okay, this here is fucking ugly, but look at that, that's more realistic than those other armors we have been seeing around here. Actually, in some earlier seasons, ish, Game of Thrones wise. Oh boy, what a small ass picture. The Clegane boy, he was wearing what looked like essentially male armor. Okay, this is much bigger size and resolution. That works best. Because you can see there's little, not necessarily chain scale, but it's something like that I figured these things would look like. But let's look again for chain scale male DnD. Yeah. One of the actual pictures of D&D is the fighter who is wearing what essentially looks like chain mail. Scale mail. What the hell? Why am I saying chain mail when I mean to say scale? Oh well, let's mix them up. Why not? God damn it, Google. Oh boy. Leo, you said wood. Cloth reminiscent of wrapping paper. A good fit for Oni. And Tiger says doom doom doom. What's up, Tiger? Leo, you sent me a couple of links. It's alright. Oh, the first one I have seen here already. It's simple-ish in design, which is good, but also so many scales. Boy, I don't want to draw every single one of them. But the second one you sent looks a little bit better, much better, because it is, as it happens, lots of little scales, but they're not necessarily scales, they're more like little ships, if you will. That is a cool one. Thanks for that link, Leo. Now, time for me to go forward and draw that. So, yes, I'm gonna focus on this design here. Scale for the chest. Some heavy-duty iron for the shoulders. And a ring, chainmail, ring mail for the under the armors, and kind of a skirt thing action going on. That's the deal here. So, Matthias, your armor is gonna look kind of like that. Which doesn't look very hunter-ish, really, like ranger-ish. This heavy-duty scale mail, but I guess it's an entirely different matter. Also, I never questioned you about that, but is the scale mail a starting armor that the ranger can choose? It doesn't seem, that does not seem very right, but I'll be honest and say that I didn't read every character's starting equipment, so could be, could not be, I don't know. Is it? Hard to say. You can barely hear me. Really? Is the music too loud? Is my voice too low? What's going on? Let me lower the music because I fear it might be too high indeed. And Tiger says, yep, it is a starting choice. Really? Huh. Go figure. Well, I guess that in a way it makes sense. makes quite a lot of sense. When you think about the ranger not as being like, oh, it's an archer boy who grew up in the woods and whatnot. You can always, there's always the possibility that it's like, oh, it's an archer boy who grew up in the woods but then got drafted into the army and had to start shooting arrows over long distances at well-armored people, and in case shit got real they had to draw out their swords and defend their position against an invading army who is definitely wearing much more than leather, so makes sense. Like a city archer. Anyway, Leo, you said you low even with the music lowered. Yeah, I don't know what's going on. My voice, my microphone, well, I believe it should have been working fine, but there's a high chance that with me resetting my computer and having to reinstall all my applications, there's a high chance that I lost some configurations, especially those that are that pertain to the microphone. So I will have to check them out later. It's kind of hard to do that right now. What I can do is throw in some gain on the microphone, but that's gonna be tricky. Because while that normally works, it also makes the sound, the noises, sound a bit weird, kind of like it's popping. It should be louder now. Is it better, Leo? Hopefully it is. But also do let me know if it's too loud. Oh, I see now what's going on. I had some other plugins going on, like an equalizer, a gate, and a compression thing going in, but those plugins are not there anymore. No wonder it's not working. Anyway, hopefully my voice is a little bit better now. A little bit louder, that is. Oh, configuring these things is such a bore. It's so technical and so iffy. Because even if I configure things in a way that it works for me, it's hard to reproduce the same conditions that normally are working, that normally are happening when I'm streaming. Which is like someone else hearing my voice. Oh well. And Leo said first edition had starting money. It should take wanted starting gear from within that amount. Makes sense. Actually, yeah. If you go about that way, 5th edition also has like starting wealth depending on your class, and then you just go nuts with it. Or you can use the starting equipment, which is like a sort of a recommended loadout for your class specifically, instead of being like, Here, go nuts. Buy whatever you think is gonna be good for you. They give you a couple options, like, for a quick start, choose these or that. Which is normally like a ranged option or the melee option. In some classes, such as the fighter, they allow you to pick up 2 weapons, so you can do a wield. They allow you to pick a large, two-handed weapon, or a weapon and a shield. There's lots of choices. But of course, if you're a little bit more experienced with the game and the system and whatnot, you can also do the starting wealth. Thing is, none of our players were experienced in the game before it began, and neither was I. Well, everybody just kinda read the rules and came up with their own characters beforehand. And everybody just showed up to the first session with their characters already rolled and created and whatnot. Looks bad like that. So that's the first part of the scale mail, which is the shoulder pads. We're gonna have some protection for the lower parts of the arm, some gauntlets if you will, and then underneath all that, some ring mail as well. So this is a very heavy armor, very protective. very thick. I think that the scale mail. No, it's not the it's not the dankiest armor you can have. Because there is, I think the scale mail is probably the last one in the medium armor table, or is the first one of the first few ones in the heavy armors. The idea of the heavy armors is that none of them add the dexterity bonus to AC. But the heaviest ones, the bulkiest ones, also add disadvantage on a whole lot of checks. Yeah, Leo, you're right. Full plate is the heaviest, bulkiest one. With whooping 19 points of AC, if I'm not mistaken. And then it says $15 profile picture on sale, get one today. Springtime profile picture with 3 backgrounds, sunrise, sunset and nighttime, with fireworks for night and ginkgo leaves and cherry blossom petals for all backgrounds. I don't even know what ginkgo leaves are, but sounds fancy. Sounds real fancy, Oni. Oh my dog, I just realized a couple of things. The encoding settings for my stream are too high. It's encoding at 60 frames per second and 4000 bitrate. It's like way too much compared to what I normally do. And Leo says 4 minutes. I am out of time for today. Oh, okay, sure thing, Leo. Thank you for stopping by, and I hope you had a wonderful day here with us. And I'll be seeing you next time. Stay awesome, Leo boy. And Ronnie, you sent me a link. What is that? Is that a little drawing? Ginkgo leaves are the yellow ones. There, I am not familiar with that, but it does looks good. Looks good. And cherry blossom petals. Looks good as well. There's a cool look on it. Leo says ginkgo, my maiden hair tree, ginkgo biloba. Ginkgo biloba. Oh, I see. Every now and then they show commercials on TV saying like, buy some ginkgo biloba pills, ginkgo biloba oil pills or whatever, some sort of natural medicine that they say will improve your life tenfold just because. But now I know what it is. It's a weirdly shaped plant that I'm assuming is Asian. in Origin. I don't know why, I don't know. I just had this feeling that he might be Asian in origin. I don't even know where that thought came from, but who knows even. And Leo, you said it made you unable to sleep when you tried it. Really? Huh. So kinda like coffee, but like hardcore coffee. Said so. But in any case, are you leaving, Leo? Because if you are, it's time for us to say goodbye to you and throw a little goodbye party as well. That's how you will remember us in your waking life after you're not here anymore. You will never forget us, and that's the important part, cherishing the memories you made over here. But anyway, bye bye, Leo. Take care and have an awesome day. I have a good one, as they say. I don't know why they say that, but they say that. So have a good one, Leo. So many plays to have going on in this armor, Tiger. It's almost like you're trying not to get hit or something. And Oni says, "Bye, Daddy Leo. Tiger is too dressed for every occasion." Is that so? But it's good to be dressed for every occasion, isn't it? No matter where you go, no matter what happens, you're never surprised. You're always ready to have a good time. It does make sense. What the hell am I doing? I also remember now. If I'm not mistaken, the Crusader in Diablo 3, he kind of wears a chainmail sort of armor thing, but he also, on top of that, he wears a little Tabard, I think is the name. So he has that going on for him. I wonder if I can make something like that happen over here, or if it's not worth it. Anyway. More clothes. Man, this whole adventuring thing is crazy. Crazy, crazy, crazy. Because you need heavy duty armor to endure the wilds and everything else. But also you need to find a place to have the rest of your equipment, like your backpack with your adventuring tools and your bedrolls and whatnot. And how do you carry all that on you as you're going around and about? It's like, what? How do you carry all that with you? Alright, so ring mail, but also he gets to have a little tabard going on. Ooh, boy, oh boy. Now that reminds me, do you know what that reminds me? Oh, Doug. What's that called again? There we go. Is it though? Oh, kinda. How in the hell is it possible that there's so little reference of this going on? Anyways, you guys might be going crazy like, what the hell is Doug talking about? I'm talking about Link. Skyward Sword Link. Skyward Sword Link goes about and around wearing a clothes, but on top of those, actually underneath those clothes, he has a chainmail garb going on. So how did I not think of that before? Chainmail shirt going on, then some shirt or clothes or whatever, then scale mail on top of that. Look at that, Tiger, you're Link. You're pretty much Link. Skyward Sword Link. The way it goes is that it ends here, then there's chainmail and there's more stuff, but there's also a big ass armor. Scale mail armor going on. Not gonna be able to see your neck, Tiger. Also, this armor here has been bothering me for quite a while now. Bothering me as in, it doesn't look right, and I should fix that, but I haven't gone and done fixed it. Kept postponing it, but now that I'm here, finishing up this drawing, this part of the drawing rather, might as well go and fix it. But being the lazy doggo that I am, I'm not gonna redraw it. I'm gonna use the transform tools to change how it looks and make it look more like what I think it should look. And then once the transform tool has been used and I have a very patchy sketch, then I go in and fix everything else. How about that? Now it looks a little bit better. Anywho, what's it called again? It's noon 22, and as it is noon 22. Oh, my eyes is itchy. As it is noon 22, it's nearing time for me to go and have lunch. And you know what that means? It means I'm gonna go and have for lunch something that isn't considered lunch normally, such as soup. I'm gonna make more soup and have that for lunch. How about that? Maybe I'll also go and cook an egg on top of that and throw in as well. Who knows? And then it says, but yes, that's your offer. $15 for a spring profile picture, $4 for a bland, normal, nothing special profile picture like Necroy. And Necroy, speaking of which, you say today we do have stream. Yes. And just like I said, when there is a streams, you're not here because you decided to show up when it's about to be over. Welcome nonetheless. How's it going? How are you doing today, Necroy? Necroid boy, as they say it. And by they, I mean, you know, they. And Nika says I wanted to rest more today. What? But you were awake early in the morning. You sent me a message like 8 in the morning. You were already awake and rested. And you can also rest by watching the stream, you know. But anyway, I'm doing which is way to say I'm doing okay, but I have a lot of stuff to do, and thinking about all the stuff I have to do is giving me anxiety, which makes me have a slightly worse time. That's how I am today. It is gloriously delicious Tuesday, but who knows? Maybe it'll improve. By the way, Nathan sent on what's it called again, on Discord. He sent a pack, well, not necessarily a pack. He sent like a link through a store where you can buy an art pack for RPG games, but it was a pack of like isometric dungeons, and I was like, holy shit, that's awesome. That is the definition of fucking cool. And I was like, cool, I want them, but they're like $25 the pack, and I was like, I want it, but I'm nowhere near spending $25 on an art pack. I mean, it is worth the $25, don't get me wrong, but I am not the one who has $25 to be throwing in on art packs. But I like the idea enough that I decided to go about and look up isometric art to see if I can kind of get the hang of how to do one of those. Because I must say, they look very cool. Very cool. And then there's a video as well, and the video is like, oh cool. You can see how it looks when you put it all together, all the little isometric parts and patches. Because it's like one of those modular things that they sell like Lego pieces. Individually they look individually they're like, okay, that's a Lego piece, it has potential, but on its own it's very dull and very unappealing. But when you put together several hundreds, if not dozens, of Lego pieces in a very specific formation, in a very specific order and scheme of color, positioning and whatnot, it forms some incredible looking things. And I was like, oh boy, oh boy, that is amazing. But that's how this isometric art pack works. It is modular, so you have like little pieces, and when you put them together with character, with like little character things, then it starts looking up and it comes to life much better. And I wanna go ahead and spend some time, invest some of my time alive here at this world we share, trying to do that, to see if I can find a way to make my own out of those, and if I can, hooray. If I can't, well then. Guess who is gonna spend $25 on online art, on digital art? But then again, none of that is needed. We are perfectly able to have fun without those things. I just think that it, you know, it looks cool, and anything visual wise that can improve the experience is always welcome. But anyway, Nekiroy also said, yes, he did send you a message at 9 AM, so you just slept a bit more. That bit more was like 3.5 hours, I see. Nonetheless, welcome. How did you sleep? By the way, yes, for those of you who haven't noticed, I am postponing drawing the scales of the armor, because I don't even know how I'm gonna draw them. Okay, time to get this done with. First I need to find like how the surface is. Kinda draw in a few guidelines along the surface to have a feeling of how it is. Geometrically speaking, because in 2D it is very hard to tell the way some surfaces curve and bend and whatnot, and if you do this sort of guideline, it helps with that. Helps even better if you do them right, but I can't do anything right when it comes to 3D shenanigans. I'm just gonna rely on my past knowledge of how 3D is supposed to work and try to apply that. And also, Silly Bear Aeon, hello, welcome to the stream. How's it going? Good morning, by the way. How's your day of the choice going so far? Yeah, maybe this looks a little bit more 3D. 3D. Oh, look at me creating verbs left and right. Rather adjectives. Coming up with words. Like I'm a wordsmith or something. Which I'm not. But anyway. This still looks wrong, but I'm not 100% sure why. I'm just gonna move on. Best to move on with a half-right product than to never move on at all. Okay, this looks a little bit better. Alright, so I'm gonna hide Tiger's layer because that is just gonna keep being, that's just gonna be distracting. Gonna throw in some transparent color here to kind of hide these sketches a little bit, so they are also not distracting. And then start drawing little chains. But anyway, how's it going, silly bear? Okay, so I'm gonna do something like this-ish. Like, yeah, something like this, something like this. I kind of like the idea of these scales being kind of pointy. They look a little bit cooler. But also probably, potentially so much harder to work with. I'm gonna start from the middle. It should be around-ish here. And try my best, my damnedest, to keep them roughly the same size. Also, they don't curve apparently. And the middle is not where I thought the middle was. On top of that, so how cool is that? Also, hello there, Sam. Welcome. Wolf morning. How's it going? Or rather, Wolf afternoon. As it happens, it is past noon. And yeah, Oni, the bot is not dead. I just haven't installed it and set it up. Sam says you're dying on the inside. Today was a very tiring day. I think you know how Onel felt after sinning with the Ark guy. The legs hurt. What did you do, Sam? And also, Sam, when you do a whole lot of sinning, it's not your legs that hurt per se. Something else. That makes the entire act of walking painful, so to speak, or more tiresome. But anyway, and by that I mean, yes, it is not necessarily your butt, but kind of like the inside of your butt, the entire area around your butt, your hips and your butt, so to speak. They kind of hurt. They would hurt if you were to spend all night sinning with a big dicked person or creature, because apparently the DnD manual refuses to refer to any living thing as a person. It always refer to living things as creatures. I guess that it helps in some way to keep things very ambiguous. Like, oh, he could be referring to a human, but he could also be referring to a troll. Or, I don't know, a dragon. Teaches you a very valuable lesson about ambiguity. That it does. And Oni says, sex me, Daddy Doug. I will do no such thing, Oni. And Sam says, yes, you mean your lower body hurts. You had to walk around the entire school as an errand boy, then you fell on your butt because you slipped on the floor twice and it hurts. Oh boy. I'm sorry to hear so, Sam. Falling down on your butt is never a good thing. It has happened to me. It is a bad feeling. Except that the day I fell on my butt was because, for some asinine reason, I decided to go to college with slippers. And no surprise, I slipped. going down a set of stairs. So that happened. But it's alright, Sam. Just make sure you didn't hurt yourself very badly. Try to rest. And if you, as soon as you get home, get a pack of ice and put on your on the area that was hit. That'll help with the swelling, which also can help with the pain. The possible pain that you may or may not be feeling, who knows? The human body is so crazy sometimes. And Neku says smooch, and Caribou said, well, you didn't say anything, you said in a delicious emote, a lick emote. How's it going, Caribou? Welcome to the stream, to the near end of the stream. I've been going on for, how long has it been now? 3.5 hours. I'm nearing the 4-hour mark, which is the time when I said fuck this and I go do other stuff with my life. Anyway, welcome. How's it going? How are you doing today? In this delicious day of the Chues, also known as Tuesday. And 104 says, hello fellow gendered and non-gendered people. For a moment there I read that as hello generated, like pre-generated and non-pre-generated people, and like, oh my dog, there's bots creating people here, and people who have not been randomly generated, which means they were manufactured manually by hand. Oh no. Because, you know, deep down everyone is randomly generated. That'll be life for you. But anyway, hello to you too, 104. How's it going? How are you doing in this day of the choice that we are having? Unfortunately or fortunately, depends on how you decide to view the day today. Hopefully it's a good one and you're happy to see it. Possibly it's not a good one and you're eager for it to end, but hopefully it's the former. And the Mido says, hey One and Sam. And then he says I was distracted. And Mido says now's your turn. 104 says your swelling can't be helped with ice since the swelling is because of you, dog. Oh my dog. What have I done? Well, 104, I am sorry that I have caused you to swell. But no matter, as it happens, any sort of swelling can be helped with ice. Just apply some ice to the burnt region or swelled region and it should help. And also, Oni says, cause I get judged a lot at work, plus your toe still hurts from the pedicure, but it's the effect of removing ingrown nail. And Caribou says, oh no, just starting your day. Oh, that's great then. My day has already started several hours ago. Now I'm just hungry as lunchtime approaches. And also thank you for the follow, Caribou. I highly appreciate that. And welcome to Doug Draws Dicks, the stream. Yeah, it's a triple D. And there's no tricks that have been drawn yet, so yeah, I lied. I am not drawing dicks. Could be worse though. Could be much worse. Instead of having been lied to, you could have been swindled. Which is like a more hardcore version of lying. It's lying, but then you also get a few money currency poorer as a result of it. On the bright side, you were not swindled, so hooray for that. I guess. Because, I mean, you would get poorer, but I would get richer, so... Anyway. What the hell am I even talking about? Oni says... Tuesday. But then again, kisses are nice, though, from dads. Keep forgetting bot is dead. Yes, the bot is dead. But the bot is not dead. The bot is just disabled because I have, like I said, factory reset my computer, and I have yet to go back and reinstall it. I also have to solve the microphone issue. Theoretically should be sounding better, but it isn't, because I have installed the codecs, which grant the microphone its delicious voice. I don't even know anymore. I'm confused. Because someone decided to go and do a bamboozle. Now I have been bamboozled. But Doug, why have you been bamboozled? I have been bamboozled because this doesn't feel right, but also it is right, so what the hell, you? So confused right now. But anyway, Caribou, how's your day gonna start? What sort of things are you gonna start doing now that your day has started? And 104, how has your weekend been? I have not seen you in a couple of days, I guess. I hope you have been doing good, and that your adventures with a onesie have been prolific and successful. I wonder though, 104, have you ever met one of your onesies, like in real life and whatnot? Because I've been thinking about that. So far, thus far, the only subwoofer I have met in person was Nekiroy, which kinda doesn't even count, because I think I have known Neku since before I started streaming, so directly doesn't count, but it does count because I said it does, so go figure. And Oni says, Mido, take me away and dunk you in your sin bin. That's gonna hurt you, Oni. And Neku says, Oni, am I dead? And Frankers Z. Also that armor, oh god, yes. Oh god, yes. It's gonna take a while. And also, hey there, Rages, once again, how's it going? The Caribou says, food and start work here in 15 minutes, oh boy. Just at the time I'm about to end my stream to go and have my own lunch. Speaking of going and doing things, well, because the bot is dead, I can't do that. Do the shout out commands. But all of you delicious boys and girls should know, as it happens, that 104 is a delicious streamer who may or may not be going to start a stream soon-ish, so go ahead and check him out. 104 on Twitch TV. Check him out. He's a cool boy or man, I don't know. And he plays lots of very chill games, so if you're looking to have a good time and chill out and maybe learn a thing or two, go and check him out. But also Caribou here, he is also a streamer. I have no idea what you do, on your streams, Caribou. I have never been to them because you stream at like midnight my time, so by that time I'm already in bed, half asleep, in the middle of an episode of whatever show I'm watching that day. So I have yet to see one of your streams, but I know that you do stream, so there's a shout out. So those of you who are weirdly enough able to show up to my streams but would like to watch a stream at a much later time, go check out his streams. Caribous. Oh boy, this is gonna take forever, isn't it? And one of course says I don't even have a onesie. This is real life, but not. This is real life, but not face to face. No, the closest people are like few hours from you. Well, a few hours is a crossable region, is a crossable distance nonetheless. And then it says Necroid is dead when he has his horns. Oh boy, a Necroid, they're permanent now. Really? Huh? Is that so? Tell me more about that later. I'm curious. Also, Mido says things. And Tiger says your father's is male. We'll say this is. Makes sense actually. Boy, oh boy, that reminds me. You gave me quite a scare, you cat, oh boy, Tiger. Cause when I was writing the, you know, was writing characters and events for the DnD game, I was like, all right. Let's throw in a little bit of Tiger Matthias' backstory in here. So we already had like some of the details of her backstory. So I decided to throw in a character who knew your Matthias' parents, or at least his father, back in the day, and I was gonna be like, well, I actually, because you never cleared this up with me, so I didn't know the situations around that. I totally went and wrote in my note-taking book, like, oh, Matthias' father, he's dead, and everybody's gonna treat him like, oh, he's dead. So that's a thing that happened. But then you go in and show and say, oh no, he's totally alive. It's not fine, but he's alive. And I'm like, what? And I was taken by surprise when you said that. And I had to quickly go and rewrite so many stuff on the fly. And I was like, shit, everything I have, all my notes. And then I had to, on the fly, rewrite this character's backstory to make it fit a little bit better, which wasn't that much. I had already left some room for doubt and you know, improvisation, but still, I'm the amount of times you guys are taking me by surprise. It's like, this is bonkers by now. Every day I'm like, okay, now I'm ready. Things are gonna go like planned, and then they don't. I'm like, oh no. Why? Why must you players have agency in this world? Which is good. Keeps me on my toes and makes sure I don't grow too lenient. Wait, what? Oh, YouTube, have you crashed? Oh, what do you know? You have crashed. What? Oh, you haven't crashed. I don't know what happened. But anyway. This armor is gonna take forever to finish, so let's pretend that the scales and There's gonna be more scales going on. I'm gonna do that later. I'm not gonna spend the rest of the stream just drawing scales. I'm gonna do that on my off time, as with everything else I do. But that's how it's gonna look. So there you go. But yeah, this is your father's scale mail that you're wearing. And Necroy says it's all Final Fantasy XIV related and you're happy with horns, but may explain later. Oh yeah, no, I mean, there's no need to explain. Just the mere fact of you saying it is the thing now is already enough for me. But I just want to hear you say more and more and more and more and more about that, because I'm a curious boy and I like to hear people talk about things, because that is a great conversation subject and talking with people is fun. But since October last year, you've been wanting these horns. Oh boy, have it taken that long for the guy you commissioned to draw the thing? And Tiger says, nope, it'd be Matthias' mother. Mwahaha, flip the table on ya. Oh, you did. I mean, last week you did flip the table so hard with that. And I was like, sure. I guess Lucendi Senior is not dead anymore. Let's strike that note in my book. But then, not yesterday, but Sunday, you guys show up with the good rolls and the good plans. I'm like, shit. My plans, my delicious, glorious plans, you guys are foiling them. So good thing I had already like prepared some things in advance. Because a whole lot of stuff I literally pulled out of my ass to make sure that things worked out the way they were supposed to have worked. But anyway, one of us is sorry back. Hattie also thank you for the shout out. I'd take you by surprise, Douglas. Oh my dog. Oh, by the way, how did DnD work out without computer or whatnot? I still had my computer on Sunday. I took it out to. Actually, what we did was on the Saturday, me and my lion, we started like looking into things we could do. We left like antiviruses, softwares running, and other stuff to make sure that it worked. That whatever problems it had, like, were gone. We tried to do like the Windows repair tools, but in the end, none of that worked. All the problems that I previously had were still there. So I said, fuck it. Next week I'm gonna format my computer, and he was like, okay then. But still, we lost a huge amount of time on the Saturday trying to fix that. And then on Sunday I still had my computer working, so I was able to do the D&D no problem. But then yesterday I spent the entire day trying to reinstall my computer, so that's what took me. That's why I wasn't streaming yesterday. Tiger says, yeah, your father has lost his leg. He took break a leg too seriously. Oh boy. And one of us says he used to be an adventurer, but then he lost the leg. And Oni says, I'm gonna be Bayonetta in D&D. And Tiger says, yeah, he lost it in the battle to save our village. He would have headed out to hunt the Dark Brotherhood, but because he did, you did it on his place. And one of us says he ripped it off and threw it on the oncoming horde. Not quite. And Roy says, oh yes, a Vavago around. What? What? Anyway, Chaos Illustration says, hello! This is my first time in your stream, so I thought I would browse the art category to say hello to fellow art streamers.
Choke me with my leash, and use the leather whip, Daddy Doug. It's been a year my staggy daddy hasn't visited me.
Wait, what? A year? Are you sure, Oni? I think you might be wrong about that. But anyway, Thank you so very much for the subwoof. For rather 12 months of subwoofing. That's a whole lot of months to go about subwoofing. Thank you so very much, Oni, for the continued support. You're a rock star. But as KO Illustrations was saying, this is your first time in my stream, so you thought you would browse the art category to say hello to fellow art streamers. Hello! How are you doing today? Hopefully you're doing good. And also thanks for deciding to stop by and check out my art. I'm illustrating a DnD party. I had done this on last Friday. I drew in the whole party. There's also a ship there standing in. But today I took the day to go back and draw their armor. So I drew the armor for Agnes, this little wizard girl, halfling. The armor for Draken, this what's it called? A wolf folk rogue. The armor for Oni, who is a dog folk monk going on. The armor for Matthias, who is a tiger folk, so to speak. Then I will have to do a leather armor for Hentai, who is a octofolk bard, and armor for Flint, who is a lizard folk fighter that is gonna be specialized in gunslinging. And then the armor for Summerled, who is a Azimar cleric, so he flies, so that's a thing. So I have been doing that, but it's time to go. Oni says whirligig, and Tiger says where boar was scary. It was supposed to be scarier because you were supposed to have gone through other stuff beforehand and have some more plot twists going on, but you foiled that plan. So congratulations on you guys for your outside of the box thinking. But now I'm gonna make sure I prepare better for all your counter preparations and whatnot. One of us says, you took the PC out to the backyard on a Sunday, a shot was heard. No, it wasn't. And one of us says, Buyanere. Not quite. But yeah, Oni, I'll do none of those things you asked me to do. You have to wait patiently for your staggy daddy to come and visit you. One of us says, too bad you can't use like a me voice for that. Is there a me voice? And Necroid says, Oni is a month younger in subscribing than you. I don't think he is. He should have been. I don't even know anymore. And Oni says, yes, I'm a month younger than Necroid, and don't judge me, folks. And Chaos Illustration says, I'm good, thank you. I'm an illustrator based in the UK. I draw a lot of fantasy character illustrations inspired by Japanese fashion. Oh, cool. I saw you streaming DnD art and I had to pop in to see how's it going. I draw a lot of tieflings. Oh boy, I draw a lot of antro characters and whatnot. That's kind of my gist. But I'll try and make sure to stop by and check your art later if I remember. Because I have shit memory, and I also have a very foul mouth, so I apologize for the cursing. But I'll check out your art later when I can. Thanks for stopping by nonetheless. And on top of that, Oni, you said this is what goes on 75% of the time. If not, you can ask Doug, Tiger, Neku, and Midokami. That is true. That is what happens 75% of the time. And Tiger says, sneaky boys, yes, that you are. And Mido says, I would say it's more like 3/4 of the time. And one of us is like Mitomo voices. I have no idea what that is. You guys forget I have no Nintendo paraphernalia to base myself off on. But anyway, this is it for today, folks. I'm a hungry boy and I have to go get lunch. Otherwise, I'm gonna starve. Also, my files are not working correctly. Oh well, go figure. Anyway, I'll fix the stream things next time because there's a lot of stuff to fix and configure. But anyway, thank you guys so very much for joining up today for my art stream, as I spent the entire morning, my morning, or maybe your guys' evenings, I don't know where in the world you guys are, most of you are, drawing pretty much clothes. Some of you may not have enjoyed that, but I certainly did, and that's what counts. Because if I did enjoy that, that means I was happy, and me being happy is the reason why doing this is fun to watch. Anyway, and Noni says, okay, 88 or 89% of the time. Sometimes they're quiet most of the time. And one of us says, Oni likes fashion too. And hello, Darkness, my old friend. Oni says, I gave up on fashion. It's dumb and pointless. It isn't. It is actually very pointful. It's very pointy. And it is not dumb. It is a multi-millionaire industry. It's just near impossible to break into, but it is not dumb. And Necroy says, glad came up late, but glad I came here at last. Oh Necroy. Of all the places to go and bust a nut, you decided to do it here, and at the end, instead of doing it somewhere else before the stream and then showing up post nutting. But anyway, I'm glad you came nonetheless. And I says I'm gay and I just want to be with Necroy. What? Oni, no. You keep saying words I don't think you know what they mean. But anyway, thank you guys so very much for watching the stream today. My name is Douglas and I hope you guys enjoyed this. If you did, make sure to tell your friends to come and check out, because they might be into this as well. If you didn't, make sure to tell me what you didn't like, that so I can start working on fixing those things, that so the people that come after you will have a better time. Also, because the bot is dead, there's no point in doing this, but below the stream there's a couple links for my Twitter and my Discord. I always announce when my streams are going up in there, so if you guys are not into using Twitch notifications, go and check those out. But before we truly actually go for reals this time, it's time to raid one of our friends. But Doug, do you even have friends? Of course I do have friends, which are kinda like acquaintances, but I like to call them friends because it makes me feel a little bit more fulfilled. So go out and check Spiker Connie, who is playing some Division 2, which is a game I want to play in the future, but I will not join in the raid because I'm a hungry boy and I have food to make. Stay awesome, have a delicious rest of a Tuesday, and I'll be seeing you guys later. By later I mean tomorrow, or on the Discord if you join it. Okay, that's it for today. Bye bye everyone. See you later, boys and girls and non-gender people.